day of the week. I believe you started your first day with proper focus. What exactly you want to really undertake things for the entire week. The day one, you plan the things also. I strongly believe on that one that you have planned against all that things. And obviously, this is the end of the day now. Probably you might have achieved the day one's of the focus, the targets, the things which you want to achieve, and probably you might have really started commuting back to home now, right? And so I just want you to find 10 minutes while you're driving or you are in a commute. Just plug in your headsets and start listening to me, because today I once again come up with one more topic, which is we're going to clear one of the blind spot we carry. Okay, and it's about that close one-to-one discussions which you're doing with your boss, and the boss is giving you some feedbacks, and those feedbacks and the reality of you living after getting that feedback. I want to make some things clear for you, and I want to break some of the myth which we carrying against for in respect to the feedbacks. Okay, so again, very deep topic. I want you to listen me carefully. Take notes if you are at home, and you have all the pen and paper with you. Okay, so now before I go into the topic, I just quickly introduce myself for all the new people who listening me first time. So everyone, this is Tushar Chaudhary, your leadership coach. I help mid-senior, mid-career project managers who are feeling stuck in their career right now, and they really desire to grow into leadership roles, influential leadership roles. You're feeling stuck. Maybe there are a number of reasons. One of the major reason is that you know you working there for last 10, 15, 20 plus years in your domain. You become expert into your domain, and now you become so habitual to work on that area. You're feeling very comfortable there, right? And the same thing is now becoming a problem for you, because you really like that area. Okay, you become operational there, and people looking at you like a operational. You think that you're doing great job there, but actually for your boss, for the senior leadership people, they think that this is what actually you get paid for. It's what you are operational level of role you're doing, right? They're not able to see the strategic leader within you, and this gap is actually in reality is quite widening now. And somewhere I believe I realized this because I work with more than 500 plus professionals, and I found that this gap is that most of the time they're not aware, and they ignore this gap. You think that you're doing great job there, but the people at the top leadership ladder, they think they have different perception about you. So now there's a gap. Now who is going to fill this gap? Who is going to take the responsibility of this gap? Yeah, you should be taking the responsibility. And this is where I help there you guys to empower you to build your ecosystem of influence, and you operate daily basis 24 by 7 with your core leadership values, your core leadership strength, which help you to demonstrate, show your visibility to the right people, so that they consider you for the leadership roles. Okay, that's way to you achieve high impact, high influence, and also high income opportunities. Okay, so with that note, now that's about me. Now I want to go into the today's topic. So let me start with something again uncomfortable. See, many professionals they receive feedback, but very few actually grow from that feedback. Many of us we hear the things like, improve your communication, take more ownership, become more proactive, think strategically. Year after year, same feedback, same struggle, same career position. Why? Because feedback alone does not create growth. The interpretation and implementation of that feedback create the growth. Do you agree with me? Type yes in the comment section. Today, I want to talk about this, why feedback is not converting into your growth. And trust me, this topic can completely change your professional journey. Okay, guys, the dangerous illusion about the feedback we all, most of us are carrying, most people think that I received feedback, so now I know what to improve. No, knowing is not transformation. I read one book. The book name is Thanks for the Feedback. A very powerful idea I received from this book. Now, this book explains most people don't reject feedback logically, they reject it emotionally, because feedback attacks your ego, it attacks your identity, it attacks your self image. Do you agree with me? This happens with us in the office also, right? When someone try to give you some improvement or some feedback, uh, generally, the most of the reactions I've seen from the people is the more getting becoming more defensive, especially those people who are having 10 more than 10 15 years of experience, because they somewhere we have this fear of rejection, and we also have that we want to maintain our public image, and we have that insecurity within us. Okay, so see, feedback is not actually difficult because it is wrong. Feedback is difficult because it challenges who we think we are. It challenges our identity. That's why we feel it's difficult. I'll tell you one real workplace story from my project experiences. I once worked with a project leader who kept receiving the same feedback years and years. You need to improve stakeholder communication. That was a feedback. Now this project leader is an intelligent person. He is technically strong, hardworking. But every year review cycle, same feedback. So I one day we went out for a tea catch up, and I asked him, "Hey, what's exactly are you changing after receiving this feedback?" No much silence. He was listening to feedback, but not converting that feedback into behavior. Then I had a more discussion with him, and I proposed him to, let's do something practical for you so that you can, learn out of that feedback. So instead of vague improvement goal, what I did, we focused. I helped him to focus on some micro actions. For example, uh, speaking first in meetings, or maybe sending concise stakeholder summaries after the meeting, or maybe you informing risks as early as possible, or asking some strategic questions. So within months, leadership perception about this person completely changed. And that day I realized growth does not come from only feedback. The growth comes from behavioral implementation after the feedback. Okay, is that a bulb on moment? Type yes in the comment section. Okay, now guys, let me share with you. There is a leadership psychology behind growth, and I come to know about this. I get more awareness about this when when I read this book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. Now this book explains the difference between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. See, people with fixed mindset, they hear feedback as, oh, there is a development data. Yeah. And people with fixed mindset, they hear feedback as a criticism. But people with growth mindset, they hear the feedback as there is a scope for development. Is that something bulbon for you? The, the the meaning you attach to the feedback decides your growth speed. Is that a bulbon moment? Type yes in the comment section. The meaning you attach to the feedback you received decides your growth in your career. Yeah. Now it's up to you. It's your choice. What meaning you want to give? Okay. So there is a feedback trap most professionals falls into, and I think you should be aware of that one. This is one of the biggest mistake professionals make. They convert feedback into a motivation instead of a system. For example, if your boss tells you, gives you feedback, improve your communication, most people react emotionally. Okay, I will communicate better from tomorrow. But there is no system. You don't work on structure. No measurable behavior. So how will you grow? So real growth requires your repeatable behavioral change. That's someone said, that you are what you repeat. So if you're repeating the same thing again and again, that's what you are. So if you really want to improve your communication, you have to bring that system of repetition, of that improved repetition, improved behavior. Now, in today's era of artificial intelligence, I want to give you some leadership reality. Now, see, in this AI era, technical skills are evolving rapidly. So growth now depends heavily on adaptability, right? Emotional intelligence, communication, and leadership behavior. And that's why becomes more important than ever now. Because professionals who grow fastest now are not the smartest people. They are the fastest behavioral learners. That is the future. Okay, in this AI era also. Now, how will you change this mindset? How can you move from that mindset of, okay, I received the feedback, that's a motivation, and you put that into a motivation rather than putting into systems or behavioral repeatable repetitive behaviors. How can you move from that mindset to a mindset where you have this behavioral systems implementation or measurable behavioral systems? How can have that mindset? I'll share with you three practical shifts that will help you to grow in your career, or to shift from that mindset. The shift number one, I want you to move from receiving feedback mindset to tracking your behavior mindset. Don't say, I will improve my communication. I want you to track specific actions. Speak once in every meeting, send concise updates after the meeting, ask one strategic question in the review meetings. That creates measurable growth. Okay, that's a shift number one. Now, shift number two, whenever we receive feedback, that's a traditional, that's the typical thing happens with many mid-career people, is that we defend ourselves to prove our stand. I want you to move from that mindset to defending yourself mindset to getting curious why this feedback is given to me. What exactly they mean to say. See, when feedback comes, don't explain immediately. No need to. Okay, just ask. I appreciate, thank you for giving me the feedback, but can you give me one specific example? That shows your curiosity. So curiosity accelerates your growth. Okay. So in my childhood, my parents also used to tell me that, Tushar, you should have someone to tell the improvements in you. The people should be close to you, those people who find fault in you. This is used to tell me in childhood, and I think your parents also told the same thing. I will encourage all of you to have such a people around you, because that way you'll come to know what are your blind spots. Okay. And when someone is saying to you, sharing with you some observations, very humbly say, thank you very much for sharing me, thanks for your willingness to share me this one, but can you give me some specific examples so that I can clearly understand? That is shows curiosity, and curiosity help you to grow. That's a shift number two. Shift number three, I want you to move from that motivation mindset, always finding motivation mindset, to identity change mindset. See, don't think whenever you get a feedback, after that you don't think, I'm trying to improve, I'm going to improve. Start thinking, I'm becoming a leadership ready professional. You have to change your identity in the mindset here first, in the mind first. If you do not conceive that change here, it will not happen in reality. So identity changes behavior. If you really want to implement the feedback, you need to have a repeatable behavior. Now, to have a repeatable behavior, you need to change your identity first. Conceive here. So identity changes behavior faster than motivation. Yeah. Is that a Balbon moment to all of you? Type yes in the comment section. Now we come to the close of the today's topic, and I want to add one more thought in your mind is, see, many professionals today are stuck not because they lack feedback, but because they never converted feedback into disciplined behavioral change. Feedback is everywhere. Real growth is rare because growth requires humility, growth requires awareness, your maturity to handle that, emotional maturity. Then you need to have consistent actions to work on that. So before you go tonight to bed, you please ask yourself this: am I really collecting feedback, or am I transforming? Am I really collecting the feedback, or am I really transforming myself because of that? And this question can change your career. Now, if this message or whatever I shared with you today is really resonated with you, I want you to comment growth in the comment section. And if you are someone who is really struggling with to implementing the feedbacks, or to be implementing those behaviors of building those systems, I would like to help you to build your system, ecosystem, which I mentioned to you earlier. Ecosystem where you operate 24 by 7 with your leadership strength, your leadership values. Through that, you implement and behave according to the things which you really want to achieve. And that's how the perception about other people perceive about you changes. Okay. So I want you to, if you really want to really build such a system, if you really want to build such ecosystem, I want to have a one-to-one with me. Book an appointment with me. The link in the comment section, also in the my LinkedIn profile. And then, in case there is a good news again that today at 8 p.m. I'm conducting a webinar, Project Leadership Mastery, and I want to invite you there. I'm gonna share with you three-step influential leader blueprint, which includes how you can really build your authority by implementing the repeatable behaviors based on your feedbacks, based on the people having perception about you. Okay, so I would like to see you there in the webinar today at 8 p.m. Super. The link in the comment section again. So that's it for today. I'm going to sign off now from Bangalore. This is your leadership coach Tushar Chaudhary. Today, once again, I'll come back with one more leadership insight to help you to grow into that leadership role, high income leadership role. Until then, implement whatever we learned today. Okay, and take care of yourself. God bless you.